dragonflies attack, and an update on that famous bikini. What a weird week.
Hi, everybody, it's Weird.
This is like crazy being here.
Really weird tales.
Well, I got a great show for you today with some wonderful weird stuff.
Hi, friends, I'm Scott, and this is What a Weird Week, a show where we catch you up on all the weird stuff that happened in the news this past week. If you want show notes or to subscribe to our podcast or other stuff, you can go shownotes.page, shownotes.page. This is Season 5, Episode Can't Remember, for Friday, August the 2nd, 2024. By the way, sometime in the last little while, we got another 5-star review. That's appreciated. Every show says this, but it's true. Those reviews do help, especially when I'm lying awake at night and the weight of the world is crushing my spirit. And then I think of that 5-star review. I feel great.
10.
All right, kicking things off this week, the swarm of dragonflies at the beach in Rhode Island. They went berserk and they attacked beachgoers.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
It does look kind of scary, you guys. We'll link to that video. That's from WBZ-TV, and we'll link to that in the show notes, shownotes.page. Some, if you don't have a chance to click, some beachgoers are fleeing in terror. Not really. A couple, though, appear to be hiding under a beach towel. So what the heck was happening? It was thousands of dragonflies. Has it ever happened before? Is it a sign that we're in the end times? First of all, dragonflies hardly ever bother you. Mostly they just fly around and actually do a lot to control the mosquito population. They quote an expert in the article as saying that this swarm happened outside their normal swarming times or migration period. Dragonflies tend to migrate between the middle of August and the middle of September. They have been known to get up and leave when their swamp habitats dry up. So the article says that's probably what was going on, that the swamp dried up and it was time for those dragonflies to leave. And they all leave together, and this beach happened to be on their journey. The article does have some advice at the end there. If you're ever involved in some sort of dragonfly swarm, panic. Oh, no, wait, don't panic. I misread the end there. It's don't panic, you guys.
9.
Okay, we have an update to a story that we covered before about Princess Leia's famous bikini. Before we get into it, I want to stress how I'm not a fan of clickbait, and I try not to do clickbait stuff. We've all clicked on articles where the picture gets your attention and you're like, hello, Gov. And then the article is not what you expected at all. What is this garbage? I feel like maybe we did that when we covered the Princess Leia bikini story the first go around last month, because we had a photo of the famous bikini in the show notes and it was one of our most clicked blogs. If you got clickbaited by that, not knowing you were clicking onto the blog of this weird news show, this garbage show, sorry about that. But if you're hearing this, I guess it means you came back for another episode. So, clickbaiting works. I stand by it. So I still haven't seen Return of the Jedi. It's on my list, but the gold bikini worn by Carrie Fisher as the character Princess Leia went to auction. We reported on that. It made $175,000 at this auction. Back when we covered this the first time around, this famous bikini auction, the Princess Leia bikini was going to have an opening bid of $30,000. So it got up there, $175,000. This one was an interesting auction. Not only did they have the bikini worn by Princess Leia, they had a Harry Potter wand. It went for over $50,000. Thor's hammer went for $81,000. Up next, a couple of weird words made it into the dictionary and made headlines this week. I don't think they're that weird. Maybe it's a bit weird they're in the dictionary, but these are words you've been using. This is What a Weird Week. It's a show about weird news.
8.
Headline from Euronews is, around 3,200 new words and terms have been added to the Cambridge Dictionary, including ick and boop. This article jumps right into ick, where it came from. They attribute its popularity to the show Love Island, a television program where the lovers are on the island. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, the official definition of the ick is a sudden feeling that you dislike someone or something, or are no longer attracted to someone because of something they do. Perhaps how they eat, or the noise that comes out of their nose whenever they're sitting quietly. You know, there's a number of things that could give you the ick factor. I, for one, think it's great when they add new words to the dictionary to help us better explain how someone is annoying us. Because after a while, you run out of ways to say it. Okay, I've been playing some background music there because there was some sort of air conditioning noise going on, and I've just changed rooms, changed mics. I'm old. I don't hear those high-pitched whines, but I guess there was something going on there.
7.
This next one could cause an existential crisis, you guys. Just a friendly heads up. At first, it seems like, oh, funny. And then you're like, what even is life? We link to the article. I'm not a scientist, but I would sum it up this way. Your name causes you to look a certain way. So little kids with the same name, little kids named Bob or Sally, have different facial features. But as you grow, all of the Sallys, all of the Bobs, all of us Scotts tend to develop similar facial features. Our facial appearance changes over time to line up with these social stereotypes associated with our names. And that, to me, is bonkers. The researchers say this is some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy, that social stereotypes cause us to look the way we look. So say you have an historical name. Your name is Santa Claus. Well, if you name your child Santa Claus, by the time they're older, they will look like Santa Claus. They will start to develop facial features associated with Santa Claus. I think that was a great example. I think the article has other examples, but I'm sticking with Santa Claus. I believe I nailed it, you guys. Science! Up next, we have an amazing world record. A feat of strength that doesn't involve feet. The opposite. Thank you for tuning in. This is What a Weird Week, a show about the weird news of the week.
6.
A fellow named Matteo made headlines this week. He is an Italian fellow who just set the world record, got into the headlines for pulling the most light aircraft while walking on hands. The record is 3. You guys, 3 airplanes. Matteo is actually an airplane wrangler when you need, at an airport in Italy, if you need your light aircraft pulled out of the hangar. And Matteo does that. That's his job. So, no, I'm just kidding. That's not his job at all. He is just very athletic, and he pulled 3 airplanes while walking on his hands. He's already looking forward to setting a new world record, breaking his own record by pulling 4 aircraft. He's talking about that. That's the next feat. Hand. That's the next hand. We link to the video in the show notes.
5.
Here's another bear headline for you. Bear opens SUV in search for food while driver was still in the vehicle. We got this story from 98.7 The River, Savannah's at-work station. I will say right out the gate, I'm not a bear expert, and the experts are saying the bear opened the vehicle door in search of food. It could easily be a gone in 60-second situation where there is a car theft ring of bears. But for now, experts will go with your theory. The bear in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, hotel parking lot, opens up, has figured out how to open vehicle doors. There is a person in the vehicle. They started honking the horn like that would be nerve-wracking. Well, the bear wasn't frightened away by the horn so much. It was quick-thinking people who threw food and said, "Here, bear, look, here's some food." And so the bear lost interest in the SUV. We link to the video in the show notes if you want to check that out. It is scary, fascinating. There's a bit of giggling in the video. The people shooting the video are not as terrified as I was watching it.
Open the door!
Bad bear. He's going over the back door. Lock your doors. Lock the door.
Hang on, up next we have another animal theft ring with video evidence. If you want show notes, go to shownotes.page. This is the catch-up show on the weird news of the week. What a weird week.
4,
One of the longest animal crime sprees, I think, of the modern era is that of Steven Seagal, who over the last 6 years has been going into a store, the Lyndale Central store in Dorset. Steven will go in and steal a bag of chips, or we would call them chips here where I'm at. Where this occurs, I believe they're referred to as crisps. So it's been going on for years. In the last couple of months, the manager of the store says Steven, the thieving Seagull, has stolen about 30 bags of chips or packets of crisps. 30? So that's every other day, right? Every other day, Steven is coming in stealing chips? That ain't right, Steven. They've got signs up in the store, please close the door behind you. People see it happen, they witnessed it and it's fascinating and you're like, wow, that's hilarious. And it probably is, but when you're losing stock over 6 years, it is a difficult scenario, frustrating scenario. And what, are you going to hire a loss prevention officer who just takes care of the bird situation? That's probably not cost effective. The thing I don't get is, they have video evidence. We link to the video in the show notes. Are they soft on crime in Dorset? We have all the evidence we need. Why hasn't this bird been convicted yet?
3,
Okay, this one, trigger warning. Trigger warning. PG-13, kids, earmuffs. This could be triggering to you. This involves an injury to someone's hand. It's a weird story, though. The Australian field, I would call it field hockey where we're at because we have ice hockey so much. I would say this fellow plays field hockey. The Australian hockey player who, to compete at the Paris Olympics, this fellow named Matt, he decided to have part of his finger amputated. The doctor said he got an injury, and the doctor said it's going to take 4 to 6 months to recover. That would have meant Matt misses the Paris Olympics. So he decided, no, let's have the thing amputated. That's dedication. That's let's wrap it there. Wrap it. Let's end the story there. Australian field hockey player Matt and his dedication to his team competing in his third Olympics in Paris. Okay, up next, the weirdest weather story you're going to hear this week. Pretty sure. 10 weird things that happened in the news this week. That's what we do. This is What a Weird Week.
2,
So this was the weirdest weather story I heard all week. I had no idea any of this happened, and apparently it happens every year. Sand from the Sahara Desert causing recent lull in the hurricane season. So every year, the Sahara Desert has this effect called the Sahara Air Layer, SAL, where sand and warm air from the desert gets whipped up, gets into the upper atmosphere, and then it's hard for hurricanes to form. So on my part of planet Earth, the Atlantic hurricane season was predicted to be a doozy. And then there's been a bit of a lull. That's why the sand from the Sahara Desert, according to the experts. Also, on the opposite of a bright note, the experts caution that we're not through hurricane season and it's still going to be bad. This is just a bit of a lull because of that Sahara Air Layer effect. By the way, Michael McDonald of the Canadian Press wrote the article that we linked to, former Doobie Brother. It's such a long way to go. Just kidding. Not. Different guy. And for my kids, the Doobie Brothers were a rock and roll band whose last name wasn't really Doobie. Honorable mention. You guys, we love glass, and it is an unhealthy relationship. There is a study out, it made headlines, University of Massachusetts. They looked into how we like to buy orange juice. The example was orange juice, but imagine any sort of juice or beverage. How do you like to purchase that? What sort of container? And what do you think is best? And many of us think glass. I would have said glass. You can recycle glass. It's wonderful. Glass containers. Well, it turns out glass packaging is one of the worst packagings for planet Earth as far as sustainability goes. It's one of the least sustainable. A carton is best. when you're thinking of planet Earth and sustainability. Next is plastic. What? Then can of orange juice. And finally, glass. It's glass that's last. I found that to be surprising. This study gets into a bit more of the science of it and that. We put a link in the show notes. One of the things to note is we can change our behavior. The number one motivator for how we buy our orange juice is what is the price? So if you can get the price down, we'd buy a carton. We'd buy it in a boot if the price was right. Now, the survey didn't indicate that, but I'm pretty sure further research would indicate we would drink out of a boot if the price was right. Hang on, number one story is next. This is What a Weird Week. We're about weird news.
1,
Number one this week is we're friend rich, and researchers didn't know that. Old research seemed to indicate that friendships were dropping like flies. Now, the American Friendship Project, The Status of Health and Friendship in America, study indicates that American adults have more friends than previously thought, with an average of 4 to 5 friends. That seems like a lot. I'm trying to think now, do I have... Oh no, I'm in the 2% of participants who reported having no friends. I'm pretty sure 4 to 5 friends, that sounds exhausting. But, I'm jealous also. A couple other things from the study. Many Americans desire a closer friendship and more time to spend with friends, but are generally satisfied with their current friendships. So well done, America. Friend to many. Okay, we'll wrap up there. Thanks for listening to the program. This is called What a Weird Week. My name is Scott. You can go to shownotes.page for transcript, or if you want to subscribe to our podcast, if you want to smash buttons and give stars and all that, shownotes.page. Thanks to our friends at Funhouse. Wait, I do have friends. Our friends at Funhouse Radio. A part of the weekend programming on Funhouse Radio is this show. So thanks to Funhouse Radio for that and for being a good friend. If you want to listen to Funhouse Radio, seek them out online or ask your smart speaker to play Funhouse Radio. We're back next Friday with 10 more weird things on What a Weird Week.